doing, I hold the food exactly the same way I was talking about holding it in my hand here. I just hold it in my left hand. So I pinch it like this between my thumb and forefinger, right? And then I make a little cup out of my hand like this. So when the dog's mouth pushes against my hand, it hits like this. And it hits the flat here and the edge of my thumb. And they go, and they try to get that piece of food, but they can't. It's stuck down in the little groove, right? But they push right against it. So now I can control their head exactly. I just walk like this. And then when I want to give it to them, I just say yes, and I just pull my thumb back and let them take it, right? But by making that little kind of cup there, the food is here, and this finger or these fingers and the edge of my thumb make a flat surface. So the dog's mouth will push against that. They feel like I can taste it. I just can't get it. And by pushing against it there, I can control their head. I can turn their head anywhere I want as we go. Yeah, I just put food in my right hand, a whole fistful, one piece here, and I just walk, yes, and then I just give me another piece. Walk, yes, give me another piece, right? So I just pass them over one at a time. I do that a lot when I'm training. Like because at the early stages, we're on a really high rate of reinforcement. So I need to be able to get food back into that hand, but I don't want to have 5 pieces in the hand I'm using, because then I can't hold it that way and I keep dropping food on the ground. And if I close up my hand like this, the dog starts trying to go in the edges and I can't control their head anymore. And the whole thing about luring is I need to be able to control their head very precisely. And so I want one piece of food in my hand at a time so that I can control their head. But then I want to be able to get another piece in there to reward them quickly if I need to for the next thing, because my rate of reinforcement when we first start these things needs to be very high. And so what I do is, like if I'm using my right hand for luring downs or sits or something, I put a bunch of food in my left hand. I have one piece here. I lure this one. Yes, feed them. Pass another one over. Now I'm ready. I just reach over and grab it out of that hand. Now I got another one. I'm ready to go again. It's the same thing here. I'm going to be luring with my left hand and rewarding. So I have a fistful of food in my right hand, and I lure, yes, feed, and then I just bring another piece over. Yeah, and I just keep doing that, right?
How many steps before?
At first, it'll depend on your dog. If your dog's doing it really well, go a couple of steps, reward them. At first, you may just want to pull their head up and say yes and just reward them. Just do this a couple of times. So when we bring the dogs out, we'll see how easy it is for the dog, right? So some dogs this is really easy for. You pull their heads up, they're like elastic necks, they got no problem, they walk like that way really easy, and you'll find, oh, this is great, this is simple. And other dogs, you're going to find it's quite difficult, right? They don't want to lift their head up that way, and you pull like this, and they go, forget it, and they just start walking, and you lose them. So then I just have to hold it here, and I have to pull their head up and say yes, and pull their head up and say yes, and pull their head up and say yes. Pull their head up, take one step, yes, right? And I may have to do it really slowly and incrementally, depending on how comfortable that seems for the dog or how easily they do it. Right? I do it on both sides. It's awesome. Good. Yeah, I mean, you can. Most competitive healing in the States is on the left. In Belgium, they do it on the right. It doesn't matter really. The Dutch teach the dogs to heal on both sides, on 2 separate commands. If you're going to do agility or anything, then do stuff off both sides of your body, because you'll need to direct the dog on both sides. And if you're just training a dog for your own fun and games, you can do anything you want, right? You want to teach one to heal on the left and one to heal on the right. You want to teach each of them to heal on both sides and have a different command, so you can send them back and forth. You do a little healing this way, switch. They'll switch. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? I think, yeah. Be excellent. Yeah, so you can do any of those things. So you go. Just let him bounce. Yep, he bounce, and eventually he's going to take a couple of steps where he doesn't bounce, and you say yes, bop.